Okay, welcome. I am thrilled, thrilled to see so many familiar and new faces and names in this Zoom room. I think this is most people I've ever had. I use it a lot. I use Zoom a lot for clients. I'm on Zoom every single day, but often it's, 4 or 5 people in a small group or just one-on-one with clients. And so this is really exciting to see so many people from so many different parts of my online life. So exciting, so exciting. So, um, what's behind this? What's behind this is that I was writing a blog post or an email actually last week, because I just felt so much. Like I felt so much energy from so many people just kind of wondering what the hell's going on and what's happening, and are we going to make it through this? And I mean, I don't know if you've been feeling any of those things, but I just sense that a lot of people, well, and you hear it too and see it on social media. And so I wrote an email and I got so much feedback from that email, which I just kind of sat down and wrote. I didn't even think about it. I just wrote it and provided a couple ideas about ways to kind of keep thinking about generating revenue for your business. And so then I thought, well, heck, let's just meet and talk about this, because I know a lot of really smart people. I know a lot of people who've been online in business for a long, long time. And there's probably a ton of ideas out there. I've got, I started writing them down, yesterday, and it was like, oh my gosh, I've got a lot of ideas here. None of them are revolutionary. A lot of them have been around for a long time, but I think sometimes it's easy to forget what we know, or get stuck in the, what do I do, or what's happening out there, and get paralyzed, um, and not move forward. And so I want to be a person who helps anyone who wants to move forward, and keep going in these times. I was having a text chat with my dentist, who happens to be my client too, and just this morning, and the CDC has shut down all dental practices across the country for at least 5 weeks. And he was not freaking out, but just like, he's one of the top dentists in the country, and he's doesn't know, it's like the first time he hasn't been employed. I mean, he will, obviously open again, but he's just was talking about how many changes there will be for dental practices, and how many dental practices will go bankrupt because of this shutdown. And you know so it just said to me even more that, like, let's put our collective heads together and figure out, what we can do as online business owners. Most of us that I can see here have been online doing business for a long time, and we've probably been through a lot of ups and downs. I know I have. I was doing business on the web at night when 9/11 happened, and that basically, as I've shared with in that email and blog post, I mean, ultimately that created the failure of my business at the time and my marriage. It was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back, and had to come back through that. And then the recession in 2008, and that was a pretty crazy time too for a lot of people. And so I feel like I've been through some, similar things, but nothing quite like this, where we're all in the exact same boat around the entire world. I mean, does that blow your mind?
Yeah.
It blows my mind that every person in the world is in the same situation. And so I don't have a specific agenda. I mean, I wrote some notes to talk about, and I asked Ellen Britt, who I've been partnering with on a number of things for on and off for many, many years, and certainly now on the whole intermittent fasting programs that we have. But I just wanted to get a sense, and maybe let's write it in the chat. Type it in the chat, like get a sense of where you are right now with all this. Are you concerned about your business? Are you confident about your business? How are you feeling right now about what's going on in terms of your business? I know we can't separate that from personal, but got some people. I'm gonna have to put you on mute, I think. You know, except for Ellen. I need Ellen back. Okay. Ellen, you're
There
unmuted.
We go. Yeah, okay, I got it.
So yeah, you know, I'd just like to get a sense of where everybody is right now, because we could take this conversation in many directions. And yeah, so cautiously hopeful. I like that. Cautiously hopeful from Judy. Grateful for clients I have right now, but worried about what happens after this month. Yeah, I get that feeling too. It's like, okay, right now everything's kind of cool, but what happens next month and the month after? Because I think this is going to be longer than 2 weeks. You know, Francine, haven't been online and need help with technology. Concerned. All my business has canceled or postponed until August. Wow. Okay, that would concern me too. Mariah, business is not at a standstill, but it's at a crawl. Yeah. How to adapt. Mute the yacht club. Stop seeing clients in office. Yeah. So, okay. What I think, if this works for everybody, I'm going to ask some questions beyond beyond, you know, how you're feeling about things, just to see where to go with this conversation. And wow, both businesses stopped. Okay, so, you know, I originally was like looking at this, okay, so how do you create cash revenue, generate revenue during a time like this? Because as we're seeing, you know, some people's businesses are at a standstill, some are slowed to a crawl. I think mine's going to be, well, I don't know what's going to happen to mine, but so whether it's in a crisis or not in a crisis, it's important to have multiple streams of income. I think that that's become very clear. I mean, that's always been how I've operated. I probably have at least 5 different streams of income, but you know, you need they all kind of ebb and flow. So that's where this started in my mind: is how do we keep generating revenue and also staying engaged. So the question I have first is, what is working right now for you? Like, what's working just keep typing in the comments, because, or in the chat, because I think that helps everybody. And I'll also share the chat later with you. But what's working right now? What's been working in terms of creating revenue up until this crazy moment? For me, I have a pretty steady stream of affiliate commissions that that come in every month. It's like I never quite know what it's going to be, but every now and then, like, there's some more money in my PayPal account. So I know that that's been a source of kind of like, okay, good, that's still working. Also, membership site that I have that is, and well, a couple of different membership programs. One I'm running with Ellen, our intermittent fasting group, my marketing Trailblazers group, one-on-one work, email mentoring programs. So for you, what's working? Strong rapport, yes. Hi, Patricia, nice to see you. Organic word of mouth, vocal lessons, So I think that knowing what works is helpful because it's easy to sort of get out of forgetting what works when things get a little bit tenuous. Then the second thing is, and you don't have to share this if you don't want, but just to look at where are you right now, like financially, with your products and services, with your business assets. Like, what do you have right now that you can call on, or that makes it feels concerning? Sort of, where are you right now? Um, you know what works, but where do you sit right now? Like right now, I kind of feel that I need to expand. I've got a ton of content. I've got lots of, I've got an email list that's a good asset. I've got a lot of colleagues whom I see right now in front of me, many of them, colleagues and clients and friends. Yeah, the stock market, I don't even want to, I can't deal with that. Like, I don't even want to deal with that. But I think taking stock of where we have and what we have right now that we can work with, because maybe it's what I think is going to be happening, how I see things evolving is that we have to look at what we've been doing in different ways and kind of look at outside of where we've traditionally been looking for revenue. Ellen, do you have anything that you'd like to add to that?
Well, yeah, I mean, you sent me a document, a few minutes before we opened, and you've got some great ideas in that document that we can go through and discuss if you want to.
Yeah.
I know, what's been working for me, and, I'm just looking at all this stuff coming through the chat. The chat aspect itself is going to be a huge resource, So yeah, I mean, the world has changed, and having, I was a PA in emergency medicine for a couple of decades, and actually during the height of the HIV epidemic, and remember how scary it was when little was known about that disease. Kind of feels a little bit the same. And trying to remember how to stay calm, because this is an emergency room situation for all of us. And so if you can't remain calm, then you can't help anybody else. It doesn't do any good to curl up on the floor and cry when people are dying around you. So you've got to put on your big girl shoes, or big boy pants, or whatever it is. And we have to pull together to make this work as a team, and I think there's enough resources in this room right now that none of us should have to suffer,
Yeah.
And so, we just need to pull together.
Big girl boots. Okay.
Yeah.
Pull up our big girl boots.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Jill. And big boy boots, because
that's right. Boots is better.
Adult boots.
Adult boots.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted to go through these questions of sort of like assessing where you are with your assets, in terms of your business assets, and taking an inventory right now, a mental inventory of, what you currently have to offer people: products, services, content, lead magnets, books, whatever it is that you produce, vocal teaching, acting lessons, whatever it is. It's like taking doing an assessment of that. And obviously this is something that can go, you can work on, or I'll be working on this. I have been working on this for a while. But having that inventory, and then looking at, based on your current reality right now, what is it that you need? So for some people, they're going to be okay financially, but this would be a good time to focus on leads. A lot of online entrepreneurs don't necessarily have a big cushion. I don't personally have a big cushion right now. That's just the reality. So I need more sales or both, right? So depending on what your situation is, your current reality is, you want to look at what is it that you need, and then from what you need, let's look at what what can be done, what you can implement, because that's the whole thing. It's about implementing things. And maybe business as usual is your plan, and that works, and that's fantastic. I mean, that's what we would all wish for. I know I have to like adjust some things, and so looking at different ideas. I was just like writing ideas, and as I said earlier, they're not necessarily they're not brand new, never thought of before things, but it's like coming up with like, oh yeah, what's out there, what's up, what are the things that we can do. So like where should I go here?
Well, you've got a great list. You've got a great list, Denise. Why don't it? To me, I would think it'd be a great value to run through that list, and let's talk about each one of those ideas. Maybe. I mean, is that good for everybody?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's do that. So this list I put together not in the order of importance or anything else. It was just what came out of my brain, and also that I had some like Jan Carosa, she had sent me some ideas. I tapped into my Marketing Trailblazers community, where we did a whole 1 month. We just focused on fastest path to cash. So I went back and looked at those ideas. So I'm just going to read some ideas, and then we can put in the chat which ones jump out at you. Okay.
I'm seeing a call for Fiverr.
Okay, yeah, Fiverr's one of them, and Ellen's going to talk about Fiverr because she's had some really good success with that. So Clarity FM, clarity.fm. It's a pay by the minute consult directory. So you can sign up and set your fee, and people can hire you by the minute. Clarity.fm. Gumroad. Gumroad's been around for a long time. It's recently come back into my consciousness because there was somebody promoting a program and people were talking about it. So I had to relook at that one. I've bought things from Gumroad, and it's basically it's a site that makes it really easy to sell stuff. One of the benefits of Gumroad is that you can set it up as a pay what you want product or service. Pay what you want. And in this time, that might be a way to put something out there, is to give people the opportunity. You can set a minimum, you can set a suggested price, or you can just set a price. But, for like, I'm looking at it in terms of, okay, if I want to be of service to people and help the people who need some online marketing help, maybe offering a consult for a pay what you want with a minimum price set. So that's how I'm looking at it. You can also use it as lead gen by giving something away, or actually just selling things. So gumroad.com. Of course, affiliate programs. I alluded to affiliates. I mean, there's so many affiliate programs out there, Amazon being the biggest one. One of the things that's also on my list is an Amazon storefront. That's a relatively newish way that Amazon offers you to select products in like a storefront, set them up in a storefront, and then promote the storefront. So we do that in a group. Like Denise and I have a group related to intermittent fasting, and so there's lots of products and things that we recommend just in the course of our talking about it. And so we have this storefront that Denise set up, that everything is so we mention it, and people, just as a matter of course, usually they don't have to, but they usually go there to buy those products. So
it's kind of minuscule, but it's a service for your clients. It's a good thing to do.
Yeah, it's a way to recommend things. So I have like several storefronts. So one on marketing books, and one on digital products, and one on intermittent fasting, and one on coffee.
Which we all need a lot of right
when
now.
people ask for recommendations, you send them a link. We're going to talk about Fiverr in a minute, and also LinkedIn, because those are two sites that Ellen has had some really good success with, and she's going to talk about that. How can you bundle your content? You can offer Ask Me Anything consults for, maybe, a smaller fee. It could be a 30-minute consult about anything that you offer, right? Ask Me Anything consults. I do those. I make that offer about twice a year, and people always sign up for them. Look at your existing content and create a mini course. How much content do you have? How many blog posts do you have that could be repurposed into a course that you could sell? And it could be a low offer course that serves as a paid lead gen, if you have two pieces that you want to offer on that. You can also bundle a suite of products together and offer them. So again, looking at what you've got, how can they be put together to offer a special package for your audience. This one that came up in our the Marketing Trailblazers was buymeacoffee.com. I think Jan Carosa found that one, buymeacoffee.com. And I'm still not clear on how people are using that, but it's a way to, it's kind of like a Patreon or a donation thing, where you can ask people to, buy you a cup of coffee, $3 or whatever for.
Denise, I've seen some people use that at least a couple of years ago. Some people were using it in their email newsletters. If they sent out a really value-packed thing in the PS, they'd say, hey, like my content, buy me a coffee.
Right, there you go.
Just put it in the PS,
Well, and I also discovered when I was looking at it again that, like, if you publish your content on Medium, you can just put one of those buy me a coffee, little badge in there that, if people like your content on Medium. And Jan says, I've seen buy me a coffee in the list on an Instagram bio link. Okay, there you go. If somebody wants to support, the content you're producing in some way, none of these things are going to make you rich overnight, but the way I look at it is lots of layers of things, lots of streams coming in to support you in one way or another, and giving people a lot of different options to support you, or that you can support them for some exchange. It all adds up. That's how I look at it. All adds up. Teach a class, repurpose some content, and teach a master class. I mean, this is, some of you probably haven't been teaching classes yet. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know everybody's background here, but if you have a blog post or a series of blog posts on a topic, teach a class about it. People like the connection. So instead of just saying, here, read this, or here's an ebook, read this, teach it. Teach it. This is really just trying to get you to look in different ways about how you can create income too. Joint ventures. This is a perfect opportunity right here to say, what do you do? Who are you? Is there something we can pair together to offer both of our audiences? It may not be just in this group, but in your other communities. But I know that there's people already, I know, because I know some of you, know quite most of you, that there could be some good synergy. So how can you have synergy? I mean, Ellen and I, we come up with the synergy, and we create revenue for both of us. because of the way we're thinking about how we can both, put our stuff together and serve. Of course, create an ebook, either to sell or to use as lead gen. Again, those blog posts or those emails that you send out. I know there are people who send out amazing emails. That stuff can be packaged.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the stuff that you're getting feedback on. Or if you post long form Facebook posts and long form Instagram posts. I do this a lot. So for example, a long form Instagram post, for example, you can have 2,000 characters or something like that. I'll test an idea. If I get feedback on it, then I might make it into a blog post. And then the blog post might become a class, a master class, a one-off class. I'm not talking about, a 10-week course. I'm talking about how to do this quickly, how to implement quickly and over. There is a site, entrepreneur.com. You can apply. I don't know what their criteria is, but they have Ask an Expert. This one also came from Jan. She is a font of resources. Entrepreneur.com/ask an expert, and I'll put these links in the chat too as soon as I get a chance. But you can apply to be an expert, and then people hire you through entrepreneur.com. So for some of you service professionals or consultants, this might be like the exact right place for you. It's similar to clarity.fm, or for some of you might be familiar with WiseHer. WiseHer, you can apply to be an expert on WiseHer, and people book either 30-minute or 1-hour consults for you if they're looking for that specific expertise that you have. Those are application things, but you might be accepted.
So and Felicia's asking, is that wiseher.com? That's correct.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Niche down your content. What is one piece that you could teach? Let's say you have an online course, for example. What's one piece that you could just break out into a one-time class or a 2-part class? One piece. Maybe your audience isn't willing to spend $9.97 right now, but they might pay $97 for that one bite that is the most important to them. Create done with you training. People want the connection, so what can you do with them as opposed to done for them? I mean, you can offer that too, but done with gives you more of that connection with the person too. Because the other thing that underlies all this is maintaining the relationships and the connections with your audience, with your clients, with the prospects you have, with your readers, with your followers on social media. If you're just staying connected with them in some way and offering some way to help and support them carry on as a two-way street. Barter. I saw somebody type barter in there. Barter. My relationship with my dentist is barter. And he suggested it because
wow.
he had been working with me for a long time, and he said, what about if, you consult for me and I'll give you your dental work? I'm like, yes, I'm totally in for that. Because as a solo entrepreneur, I don't have dental insurance. So where can you barter? I get a checkup twice a month. Twice a year. He gets a checkup twice a year. So Yeah. So think that way too. Who can you barter with? Who can you trade services with? Um, Patreon, that's been around for a few years too, is a, supporting makers and artists and, well, any kind of service, I think. If you can come up with the kinds of, I don't know, it's not rewards because it's not rewards, but the kind of things that people would trade like a monthly $10 a month or $5 a month or $25 a month for, and it's like a membership. Patreon. For you writers out there, there is lots of freelance writing. There are lots of freelance writing opportunities out there. Again, we're going to go back to Fiverr in a minute, but another one is makealivingwriting.com. And the Carol Tice has a whole list of magazines that pay for articles. And then one that I know a lot of people are familiar with, and I almost totally forgot about, I added at the very end, is using PLR, private label rights content, to create products, services, webinars. I mean, there's a lot of people out there who sell very high quality PLR. And if you aren't feeling compelled to create from scratch yourself, it's a great way to either spark ideas or gives you a way to, kind of modify things, modify content that is in your own voice and more focused on your specific expertise, but it's a great kind of starting point, a template for you. So I know there's a lot more. Those are my 20 that I came up with. And I'd like to go back to Ellen right now, and have her talk about what she's doing with Fiverr and with LinkedIn. Is that good for you, Ellen?
Yeah. Let's do LinkedIn. Let's do LinkedIn first, and then I'll talk about Fiverr. Okay. So, I had been on LinkedIn a long, long time, but really didn't understand how to use it at all. And I pivoted my business about a year ago from marketing to intermittent fasting consulting, of all things, because I had some spectacular results with intermittent fasting, lost 35 pounds and all that good stuff. And since I had a medical background, it just seemed like the natural thing to do. So I started investigating LinkedIn more, and I switched my profile completely over to that. Now, here's the thing with LinkedIn. It's okay. You should post on LinkedIn. Absolutely, you should post on LinkedIn. But the secret with LinkedIn is engagement. You got to go over there every single day and start engaging with other people on their content by commenting, by adding value, not by selling your stuff, but by getting in there and forming relationships with people. And you also want to grow your network. So what you do is you go in and you think about who your target market is, and you go into their search thing, and you look at there's filters. So you want to get your second degree connections. These are people who first degree connections are people like you're already connected with, but second degree connections or people that probably are connected to your first degree connection. So you want to use those filters to try to filter through and see who can you start connecting with. Now, you don't want to just connect with your target audience. You want to connect with colleagues and peers in your industry as well. And other times, sometimes I just go through and say, oh, that person looks interesting, and I'll send out a connection request. Don't worry about writing any kind of note to them. A lot of people will just accept it they'll look at your profile and they go, okay, this person's not cool, I'll connect with them. Don't waste your time, right? Unless you know that person kind of, or you really know their work and admire something about them. There's a lot of people operate on their mobile phones now, and they don't even see the message that you're writing to them until after you connect with them. So don't worry about that. So start to grow your list, your people you're connected to, but don't send them a direct message afterwards saying, hey, I do this and let's sit down and have a chat. Don't do that. Just don't. Just start growing your connections and getting in there and posting. Ideally you could post once or twice a day over there, not an article, but just a post, and try to start forming relationships with people. I invite everybody to go over and connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll accept your request. Just go ahead, and you don't have to send me a message or anything. And you can look at my profile. You can look at the things that I've posted and kind of see what I've done. Posts that work the best are ones that don't have a graphic attached to it. And if you're going to put a link in, put it in the comments, not in the body of the post, because LinkedIn's algorithm downgrades that. I don't know what else about LinkedIn, Denise.
No, I think that's
good.
Quick,
that's kind of quick and dirty.
Well, why don't you just also, just to prove it, how many clients have you and conversations have you got from that?
Okay, I've gotten. I haven't been doing this too long. I've got several. I'd say 10 inquiries. I got one paying client, and I also had a gentleman reach out to me to do a joint venture. He had a large Facebook group that was diet related, but not related to intermittent fasting. He saw my post on intermittent fasting and said, hey, I think we could do a joint venture. We did a joint venture together. It made me $5,000 nearly instantly. So, and that joint venture is still ongoing. So that nice. There's a little bit of that. Okay, so that's LinkedIn. Anybody have any questions? Let me just see if there's a couple of questions about LinkedIn. Anyway, I can go ahead and talk about Fiverr. Maybe Denise, you can see if there's questions about LinkedIn and I can come back. Fiverr actually has been my bigger success. I turned to Fiverr. Well, I did kind of medical content writing on the side. And like everybody else, probably here, it's not so much, it is about what can you offer, but it's also how can you get leads? That's people's pain point. How can I get people who are interested in my service to come to me? So Fiverr, of course, has this huge built-in network, and they're probably going to only grow during this crisis, not shrink. So I don't think you have to worry about them going away. Well, a year or so ago, I decided to put up a Fiverr profile actually it was 2 years ago. It was in 2018. And I decided to put up a Fiverr profile to see if I could get some medical content writing clients, because I didn't really know how to approach people with that. And I put a profile up, and over time started to tweak it and stuff, and eventually got a fairly good stream of clients, and I made nearly $10,000 on Fiverr over the course of about a year and a half. And so when this COVID thing came out, and I kind of let my Fiverr thing kind of go. I just put the thing on pause and didn't look at it anymore. Well, it's been less than a week.
Yeah.
I said, I think I have to reactivate my Fiverr profile. So I went over there, and basically it was all there. So I just turned it on. I looked at the gig that I wanted to reactivate, and I reactivated it. And I told Denise, I said, Denise, it's probably going to take me, a couple of weeks for the Fiverr algorithm to kick in and get this thing going. Very next morning, I woke up not just to an inquiry, but to an order. And then shortly after, I got another order, and then I got another order. So I've had 3 orders in less than a week that totaled nearly $800. One of them was one of them was an 800-word article for $300. I've already completed that. I've got 2 more orders I've got to complete today before I go to bed tonight. But I'll have that $800 in my bank account in about a week after those orders are completed. So Fiverr, and it's not just writing. There's all kinds of things. So then I started thinking, well, could I offer a service? So I think a couple of days ago, I decided, let me put my intermittent fasting consulting up there and see how that will go. Well, that's just up there, and that's a brand new gig. So I've only begun. They've got an analytics thing that you can see how many impressions and clicks and things you've got. So that's hardly started to get any traffic yet, but people are looking at it, and I've had some people click on it. So I wouldn't be surprised at some point that I'm going to get stuff from that. Now, this job that I just completed, the gentleman who requested this, it lives in China. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So that's completed. I had a big the other one I'm doing is for a big company, because I mean, they didn't really tell me who they were, but he had to send me a PDF on some stuff that he kind of wanted me to model, and their logo was down at the bottom. So I looked them up on the web and thought, oh, this is a big company. So I know they have deep pockets, and they're testing me to see whether I can produce. If they like my content, they're probably going to reorder. So, you know, you want to start out low, but don't sell your stuff for $5. You know, you start out low until you get some clients, and then you gradually raise your prices. Be willing to do whatever it takes at the beginning. Start out low, but don't sell yourself short. If Fiverr is named Fiverr because it was $5, but that was I don't know how long Fiverr's been around. Long time, right, Denise?
Long time, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, and you'll still see some stuff for $5, but don't do that. But
I don't think
really,
I've ever paid $5 for anything on Fiverr.
No. So you want to just, you know, you want to deeply discount it. But then as soon as you start to get clients that'll come in at that low price, and then you get some good reviews, then up your price, you know, not by a huge amount, but by increments. And that's what I did. Now, Fiverr also has what's called a pro service, but that's by application only. So after about a year, and I had all these orders, I have 50 5-star reviews on Fiverr. So Fiverr invited me to apply to their pro program, which I did. And you can sell more high ticket items now. So my actually medical content writing gig is under their pro offering now. I can charge more. It looks better. Yeah, it's kind of a nice vanity metric too. But you have to submit your samples to them, and they vet you. So that's going to be a longer term game. But I tell you, I'm never going to let my Fiverr account go dormant anymore. If I have more work than I can handle, I'll subcontract it. So, or get help. So if any of you have any medical writing expertise, please send me a private message, and I'll keep you on my roster, because I might have to flip some content over to you, as I'm not going to turn down orders if it's in my area of expertise. So, and if you need help with Fiverr, reach out. Maybe I can put together a class or something. So let's see if there's questions. Are there questions about Fiverr because I really can't.
Yep.
See.
Well, Elizabeth asked, how do you get past the client expectation that you'll do things at low cost?
Well, that's not always true, Elizabeth. A lot of people are not looking for low cost stuff on Fiverr at all. They're looking for quality work that you can do what you say you're going to do. So now a lot of people are looking for cheap labor over there, but there's lots of folks that are not. This big company that's after my content, they are not looking for cheap. They're looking for somebody who can do the work. If you've got the chops and the credentials, put it out there and people will come to you. It's not just people looking for cheap work at all. That's a huge, huge misunderstanding about Fiverr.
Good. Andrea asks, would you set up a separate profile on Fiverr for intermittent fasting and medical writing?
No, I have the same profile, but the gigs are different. What you offer are called gigs. And so when people search on my medical writing, they'll see my medical writing gig. They won't see the other gig unless they actually go to my profile. But most people search, and the gig will pop up.
Okay,
but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, if somebody saw both gigs, they might, and they had come to me initially for medical writing, they go, "Oh, she knows about intermittent fasting. Maybe my company needs to do a piece about that." So it's okay to put both things there for sure.
Yeah, I've come to the, space where it's like everything goes under one umbrella, because we are multifaceted human beings and entrepreneurs. And, as they call us now, we're multi-hyphenates. So, I have a travel business, I have an online marketing business, and I work with Ellen on the intermittent fasting business. So, I don't want to have 3 blogs, 3 Facebook pages, 3 Instagram.
No.
It's all going under one roof now. I think it shows adaptability too, and depth of experience. At least that's how I'm looking at it. So Jill asked about LinkedIn. When you say just post one.
Well, hang on just a minute, Denise.
Yeah.
I'm seeing one more question about Fiverr. Can you read that to me? It says, do you promote, what does it say?
Do you promote your Fiverr gigs on other places besides Fiverr?
Well, you can, but I've never had to. Fiverr is a huge, huge site in terms of traffic. So as long as you have your profile set up correctly, you don't have to. Now you can post on social media and you can promote your Fiverr gigs in other places. And of course, Fiverr encourages you to do that because they want more traffic. But I have never found that to be necessary.
Okay, there you go. Okay, let's see. Hang on. Okay. Then it goes
Oh, somebody wants
past.
to know wants to know my Fiverr profile. I think you can get there by just going to Fiverr. And it's FIVERR.com/SE Brit, I think is my profile.
Okay, well, we'll look that up.
Somebody can check that out.
Yeah.
We'll give that to you.
So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of LinkedIn questions. Okay.
Okay, great.
When you say post 1 or 2 a day, are you talking about a small post, an article, and always related to your business?
No, I'm not talking about an article, although articles are okay. You should post. I'm sorry, Denise, read me the question again, please.
When you say post 1 or 2 a day, are you talking about a small post or article and always related to your business?
Okay, not always related to your business. You want to post things, you want to mix it up. You don't want to just go over there and say, this is my stuff, this is my stuff, this is what you're doing. LinkedIn has really, really changed. It's a really remarkable social media congregation now. Platform is the word I was looking for. Thank you. And so you want to mix it up like anything. You don't want to just constantly be pushing your business. If you'll go over there and look at my profile and look at I think you can see my activity. You can go in there and look and see what I've been doing. Now, I haven't been quite as active in the last few days because of all the craziness that's been going on. But what you want to do is you want to post things. You could go over there and post about how you're feeling anxious about all this stuff. A lot of people are doing that. It makes you seem you are human, and it makes people connect with you. Now, once in a while, you can put in the PS, if it's related to what you've been posting around your anxiety. Hey, if Denise wrote about her anxiety thing, about the situation on LinkedIn, and she put in the PS, hey, I'm having this free Zoom call. The link's in the comments if you want to come over and join us today.
Guess I should have done that.
You could, yeah. Well, I did it for you, so it's all right.
Okay.
So, and you also want to use text only. Text only posts do much, much better than posts that have an image, and either an attached image, or if you link out to your blog, I mean, you can do that, but LinkedIn really suppresses that. The algorithm does. It's okay to do that, and you should do that, but don't rely on that. Use emoticons and symbols scattered within the text so that it draws people's attention in there. Don't overload it. But if I put something like, if I was posting around the virus or something and saying, I'm upset and there's all these deaths, I might use the broken heart emoticon at the end because it's red and it brings people's eyes in and expresses that those posts get more attention. But the main thing you want to concentrate on is getting in there every day. In addition to doing your posts, is getting in there every day and commenting on other people's posts, and not just your first degree connections too. You'll see second degree connections and stuff. And I don't just go and comment on everything. I scroll through and I say, oh, that's got my attention. I could add value here, or that's interesting. And let me put my comment in here. You want to engage, because then people will come back and engage on your post, and that's what pushes your post out to be seen in the algorithm. Now, some posts do fantastically well and got a lot of views, and other posts, they hardly get anything. It's hard to know. LinkedIn's algorithm is kind of strange. So I just encourage you to get over there and play around, look at my profile, go down to where my activity is. You'll see something where it says all activity, and just click on where it says posts, and that'll show you the kinds of things that I've been putting up there and the activity that I've been getting on.
Okay. Mariah asks, or says, I don't understand credits. How do you message people on LinkedIn?
She doesn't understand what?
Credits.
Credit.
I don't know what the credits are either.
Oh, well, maybe that's, well, you don't have to worry about messaging people. I don't know what you mean, but it may be, I'm not sure, but
I mean, that
I
might be
think
the paid version.
it may be. And people, LinkedIn limits your ability to do things based on, I've never had anything more than a free account.
Yeah,
And
me
you're not
neither.
going to be messaging somebody unless they message, you're attracting people to come in to you. You're not going to send out messages to people asking them for business. You're just not. That's the wrong way to do it. It's going to fail. Ask me how I know. Okay. So I've tried everything, Denise.
Yeah.
I know what works and what doesn't, and that doesn't work. And you'll get slapped for it too. So you gotta make your stuff so attractive that people are, they want and they reach out to you. And then you can start a conversation in direct messages because they reached out to you. I had a gentleman last night direct messaged me on LinkedIn. He says, "Hey, I see you work with women." He says, "Does intermittent fasting work for men too?" So I said, yes. And I said, in fact, men get probably more spectacular results easier than women with weight loss. It's always that way, right?
Yeah.
I said, would you like to set up a call with me to see how we might work together? Well, he hasn't gotten back to me yet, but he might, or he might not. I don't know. So that's the way you work that.
So how about, like, why don't images work on LinkedIn? It's just the
I don't
algorithm.
know.
They
I
just,
don't know. That's the way LinkedIn is.
yeah.
Now, sometimes I do post with an image. You want to mix it up and try different things. But for the majority of my posts, they're only text with emoticons, and the link does not go in the body of the post. It goes in the comments, and you can say that in the body of the post. The link is in the comments.
Okay. All right, let me just see if there's, Felicia says, my challenge has always been getting a ton of "can I sell you my stuff" messages.
Well, yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
People will automatically turn right around and try to sell you their stuff. Now you can just ignore them. I just ignore them. I never respond to that.
Yeah.
Or you can just say, okay, just block that person, get rid of that person. I don't want them in my feed anymore. Or
Can
I
you
just say,
block
bless
people
their
now
heart.
on LinkedIn? I guess you can block them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can disconnect, and you can disconnect. I don't worry about it. I'm not ever concerned about getting spam and stuff in my inbox. It's like, bless their hearts. They're probably as desperate as whoever, but I don't ever respond to that kind of thing. I don't give them the satisfaction of a reply. And if they continue to do it, I just disconnect with them. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah. So, oh, right. Felicia mentioned LinkedIn Pro Finder. Yes, you can sign up with that, and then you get notification if somebody's looking for a professional, who does that thing. I have to say,
Oh, okay.
I have never, of all I get them, every now and then, those so-and-so has a job in, Orange County or whatever, which is not close to me, but, and none of the jobs have ever appealed to me enough to ever want to put in a, what is it? An RFP or something, a proposal. So,
Oh, right.
or anyway, but that doesn't mean it wouldn't work for you. So go check out LinkedIn Pro Finder. It can't hurt to sign up to get their notifications about jobs that match your profile. Yes. So, hi, Lucille. Good to hear from you too. Yeah. So everybody's saying the credits are for messaging outside of your network, and so I think that we've pretty much covered that. That's probably not something you want to do anyway.
No.
Video on LinkedIn. Yeah, video is making it's definitely happening on LinkedIn now too.
It is. I haven't used it. Somebody asked me if I'd used it. I haven't yet, but I'm going to. It's just beginning to kind of get an uptick there.
Great. Yeah. I think live video is by invitation only though right now. I think. If that's changed, let me know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't used it yet, but I'll investigate that.
Yeah. Well, somebody else might know also. So Lucille said she got a great job on LinkedIn Pro Finder. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that. I really am. Yeah. Oh, Felicia said she did live video there. Okay. Okay, let me see. You have to request it, okay, to get live video.
Oh, okay.
Okay, boy, I can't keep up. It's so fast. But somebody wanted to talk about done with you, right? I think I saw that. Joyce, hi, Joyce. Like, hi. Okay, so done with you is where, okay, why don't you tell me what you want to know about done with you? Let's start there.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks, Denise.
Yeah.
Well, you all, I think, as a group, are much more experienced in consulting than I am. It's kind of a new thing for me. But I actually have someone I'm talking with later today, and I'm doing ghostwriting a lot right now. And this is a situation where she really wants to do it together. And I have two projects right now. One, I'm doing it for the client, and one that I'm doing with the client. And I find that I really like doing it with the client. But I just love to hear anything you guys have to say about tips for how to set that up and how it's worked for you. I'm just,
Well,
anything you have.
yeah, okay. Well, it sounds like you're doing done with you with the client, and usually done with you, that's what it involves, is like a partnership between the client and the service provider. So,
I've already learned some things I don't want to do again.
okay, well, good. So you make sure
Yeah.
that those aren't included. But it's about not. The difference is done for you is you do all the work. Like they pay you and you do all the work. So typically that might be like a social media manager and they just go in and do everything. Or done with you might be, here's all the content. Now would you post it for me? Or would you create the graphics for me? So it's more, that both people are contributing to the project. And done with you is usually less, is less cost than done for you, because done for you, you're doing everything. So, I mean, that's how I
Hey,
see the difference.
Denise,
Yes. Who's talking?
it's Felicia.
Yes. Hi, Felicia.
Hi. So my business for the last year and some has been primarily done with you, and I've got a few things that I could share with that if that's all right with you.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So when you're doing done with you, you want to be very clear about what exactly you do with them and what that work looks like, that process, because typically when we're selling anything on the internet, whatever it is, and especially training on the internet, the process doesn't matter, right? But when you're doing done with you, the process absolutely matters, because people need to know what is expected of them. And so making sure that they're very clear on what that is, and then you as the consultant, you've got to drive that process 100%. You can't necessarily expect the clients to, to be kind of driving the boat. So the way I do it with my business is I say, all right, this is the way it works, is we are going to get on a Zoom call once a week for an hour. And that is our done with you time. I will be using that time. I'm going to share my screen. You're going to see me doing stuff. I'm going to be asking you for feedback, asking you for help. When I say I need, an image of something, you'll send it over during that time. And the way that I explain it to them, because some of the work that I do could theoretically be done by someone for a lot less expense and so forth. It could be done by a virtual assistant, but I say, listen, I'm not a virtual assistant, but this is what I do for myself or for my clients. You are one of my clients now. And what we get done in that 1 hour will be more than you'll be able to get done in a week by yourself. And you also don't have to direct like a virtual assistant. You've got to tell them what to do and how to do it and where they should go to do things. But in this case, I know what needs to be done. And instead of me consulting with you and saying, okay, now go do all these things for your homework, I just do it with you and for you while we're on the call together. So that's my parameters, how I have set it up. That also means sometimes I do things like, maybe we're not totally done at the end of the hour, so I finish it up or whatever. They can certainly email me and ask questions, but you want to be very clear on your boundaries and also on when the project is done. Because, you know, a lot of us who haven't necessarily done quote project type work before, you know, a lot of us are givers. A lot of us want to help our folks succeed. I mean, that's why we do what we do.
Right. Mission
And
creep.
so if you don't set up this is an end date, or this is what it looks like when the project is done, people will constantly and forever be tweaking. So
Amen
just a
to
couple of
that.
thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
That was fantastic. Did that help, Joyce?
That was great. That was
Okay.
perfect. Thank you.
Felicia, you rock. Okay. Okay. So now, Mary said she's doing a webinar for authors on social distancing for authors. That's good. And yep, good. She posted a link there if you're interested. Okay. So one of the things that I've done with some of my members in the Trailblazers is said, okay, give them a challenge. Okay, you're short on cash. You need $1,000 by Friday. What do you do? And you know, you need to get new.
Banks are closed, so robbing a bank is out.
Yeah, no robbing a bank.
They're closed too. You can't.
So this is something, you know, that I think could, you know, be a useful exercise when you're looking at, okay, what can I do that could generate X number of dollars by this date? And so I just, you know, you're short on cash, you need $1,000 by Friday. And, you know, I posted this on Monday. What's your fastest path to new cash in your business? So, you know, there's the examples I've provided in the past when I've done this, you know, challenge for them is, you know, you can go big right away and offer $1,000 product, like a VIP day or something like that to your prospects. I mean, this for consultants and coaches, this could definitely work for you. You bundle. Number two, you bundle some products valued at more than $100 total together. The bundle is $100 or more, and send an email to your list to get the bundle for $97 by Friday. Then you just need 10 people to buy that bundle. So they're getting tremendous value and you're getting cash in the door. If you have products that are in the $400 to $500 range, you only need 2 or 3 sales to make that $1,000 bucks. So, you know, go for your low-hanging fruit, your email list. And of course, this is, you know, contingent upon having an email list. You definitely need to have an email list. And if you're just starting out or you're struggling with that, you know, there's a lot of list building tactics out there that on the web, or, you know, we can have a chat or to talk about that. But, you know, it's also, I think next month or this month, we've been talking about that. No, I haven't been talking about it, but we're focusing on that from time to time in the Trailblazers. Another one is create that one-off class I said, like a master class, and charge $50 for it. You need 20 people to enroll. This is where, you know, I'm trying, you know, just sparking that thinking. What can you do that you already have put together? You already have the content, you already have the products, you already have the services to put it together. You know, you may not need that $1,000 this week, but you might need it next month, you know, because we don't know what's going to happen. Sell face masks. There you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. What else? What have I missed?
One thing I thought about, Denise, is the idea that maybe looking at doing something different. That where is the pain right now? I mean, I kind of pivoted my business to intermittent fasting and health related stuff a bit ago, but now that's kind of jumped to the forefront. You know, everybody wants to know, how can I fine tune my immunity? How can I protect my health? How could I get rid of some of these underlying diseases like, you know, diabetes? So it's like, maybe it's look at what you're like really doing, you know, and think back to what you really want to do. Maybe there's some way to not give up on what you're doing, but maybe there's a way to test some new things that maybe you hadn't thought about that are kind of jumping out at people right now, whereas like 2 weeks ago, nobody was paying to that much attention. Just a thought.
Yeah, I mean, this is not the time to say no. Also,
Right.
This came up I mentioned this to Ellen, but this also came up in a group with my business coach. And if somebody says, "Hey, can you do this? Can you help me with that?" And it's something you do. It's not necessarily something you sell. Kind of like what Felicia's talking about. It's something that you know how to do, and somebody needs help with it. It's not the time to say no. It's the time to say yes, because that could be the opening to a new income stream for you.
Yes.
It's not the time to go ahead.
The first order I got on Fiverr was to write an article, a positive article about vaping. And I thought, oh no, I'm got to say no to this because I don't agree with vaping. However, I did not turn it down. It's like being on a debate team where you got to argue the other side that you don't like, So, I put my spin on it and I wrote the article, and it's already been submitted, and I'll get paid for it. You got to do what you got to do as long as it's legal and you're not hurting anybody. I did put my spin on it, however, but don't say no. Don't say no.
Elizabeth, you wanted to share something.
Yes, two quick things. One is, and I put this in the chat, but thumbtack.com is something that I have gotten a little bit of business from. And my frustration with it has been sometimes it's hard to filter the kinds of work that you want. I didn't want any kind of writing gig. I didn't want screenplays. I didn't want to do grant applications. So, but that I did get some business from it. The second thing is a variation on the themes that you all have already mentioned, but I've heard it done very successfully. I haven't done it myself. And that is when you've got a piece that you've given away as a lead magnet. When somebody says, yes, I want that, and then while they're waiting to get it in their email box, to have a screen flash up, it's kind of like an upsell variation of an upsell, have a screen flash up and say, while you're waiting, I have for you, because you've downloaded this, I'm going to offer you a 30-minute consult at a discounted price to answer questions about my lead magnet. And it's just sort of a very specific way to get a quick consult. And where I heard it, they were talking about, $30 to $50 for the 30 minutes, not anywhere near what you would normally charge. But again, it's establishing that relationship and getting people used to the idea that they can pay you for what's in your head.
Right.
So
great idea.
That was all.
That's a great idea, Elizabeth. And then during that consult, if you establish a good relationship and give good value, they might go on to become a longer term client.
Exactly.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
And even if you're not a coach in general, but I thought it was a good way just to add, again, the little extra income stream.
Yes.
Yes. So anything else that anybody would like to share, contribute, ideas? You guys have amazing ideas, and I'll grab all of this in the chat. But
hey,
and
it's
also,
Felicia again.
Yeah, go.
I came across a new site called outschool.com. I had put it in the chat, but it's way up.
Okay. Thanks.
Outschool.com. And I have not, I'm going to confess, I haven't done anything with it yet. I've other than watch their video and start thinking, how can I take my content and make it work for their site? But their market are, I think, age 3 or 5 up to age 18. So a lot of us who are already teaching and already have content and already have products, we have stuff that can translate to teens, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm a mom of 2 teenage girls. There's nothing that my 17-year-old can't do that, that I've taught any of my clients. So what are some things that, how can you take your content and translate it? And what they do is they do all of the marketing for you. You put whatever course up that you want. You set whatever price that you want. You say who it's ideal for, and then they do all the marketing. They take 30%, you get 70%. So it seems, if you think of it as an affiliate, like, well, that's a pretty dang good deal.
Yeah.
A lot of us do 50-50, right?
Yes.
So that's one of them. And then there's another one, which a lot of people know about Udemy already, but just a reminder, if you're a
Thank you.
content creator, exactly, Andrea, Udemy, you know, so Udemy is one, but the other one, Luann, is called Outschool, OUT, and then the word school.com. And they're, you know, seem like they're both pretty good. So there's probably a couple others, but those are the ones that I've been looking at.
Excellent. Thank you. Yeah, there's so much out there, you know, there's so many opportunities. And I think if we just are looking at, you know, how we can, you know, kind of shift our thinking if we need to. You might not need to, but if you're here, then obviously that that appeals to you of wanting to keep things flowing. The other thing is, because I did not ask for an opt-in for this, and I don't know every single person here, if you would like the notes that from the chat, um, please put your email address in the chat so that I can let you know, because I don't have any idea where you came from, some of the people who I don't know. So if you know me, just say you know me, but you know, if you know I have your email address.
Yeah, and if you listen to the recording, do that.
Yeah.
If you listen to the recording, do that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So
Elizabeth made a comment when you're done, Denise, that I'd like to address.
yes, please.
Elizabeth, you were saying that a lot of us know Nancy Camden here, and she's teaching English to Chinese students. And I was busy trying to look up, I can't remember the name of the company, but I think it's VIP Kid. Do you think that's right, Elizabeth? I think it is. I
No,
think it's.
I never did ask her. I don't know.
Okay, I think it's VIP Kid, but I can find out about that. She's been working for them for quite some time and has a full caseload of clients. She teaches and they provide the materials for you. I think all you have to do is have a bachelor's degree, and they kind of give you the training. She really, really enjoys it.
I think she does too.
Yeah, she really does, and it's been a lifesaver for her. So I think they pay. I think according to this, even if it's VIP Kid, this pays up to $22 an hour for it. So you might look into that. I think it's VIPkid.com. I'll try to find the correct thing, but I believe that's it. So thanks, Elizabeth, for that reminder.
That's very cool. Yeah, my sister-in-law in Toronto teaches Chinese students speaking and presentation skills, who are in schools, and testing skills for, you know, to get into, I guess, English speaking schools. So she does that all online.
And I mentioned it in the chat, but Chris Guillebeau's sidehustleschool.com is really well, it's set up with a very good search function. And if you don't know it, he interviews people that have side hustles, and he's been doing it for like 2 years or something crazy. But if you go and put in the keywords for your particular niche, you might find some interesting ways other people are making money with that particular idea, and it'll just give you an idea for something to add.
Terrific. Thank you. Thank you. That's why we have to have the meeting of the minds. Yes.
Denise, yes. I teach comedy improvisational acting classes. And I was amazed to see someone in Austin who's actually doing it online. So I just want to mention that whatever you think can't be done online, forget it. I mean, it's a group and it's very interactive. So I'm investigating what they're doing. But
fantastic.
Anyway.
Yeah, my Pilates studio is teaching classes online now, you know, and I was like, I'm definitely signing up, because I don't want them to go out of business, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Because who knows how long their studio will be closed. So you know, that's the other thing, as how can we as business people support the other businesses with whom we have relationships, whether local or online. I've been thinking about this a lot, and it's like, if I have something that I need to invest in, I'm going to be looking for a small business owner, a solo business owner who offers that thing, you know, because I want to make sure that my people stay in business too, and so maybe the other thing here that to do is, if you want to, type in what your business is and your URL, and I'll share that too, because there's probably people that we all need to, like, we don't all do the same thing. Some of us do similar things, but not all the same thing. Like Judy Rodman, I don't know if she's still here, but Judy is a vocal, in addition to being a songwriter, a singer, performer, blah, 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 she's also a vocal coach. And she did a really great presentation the other day for speakers, vocal branding for speaking, and how to, use your voice better. Well, I mean, who couldn't? Well, I can use that for sure. Maybe not Felicia, she's a pro, but I know that's something that I could use, and so, that's just an example.
Denise, somebody asked Elizabeth to post that. Did you see that, Elizabeth? You were talking about Chris Gillibo. What is the site?
Yes, I did post it, but I'd be glad to. It's sidehustleschool.com.
Okay,
and I'm going to put it in again right now for everybody. Somebody else did too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, it's in
there's
that. Yeah.
There's also a good podcast called The Side Hustle Show. If you just search it on Stitcher or any other podcast thing, I don't know, I can't remember the guy's name who does it, but he's got like almost 400 episodes of various side hustle people where he interviews them and stuff. So that's a great resource as well.
Yeah.
Has anybody had any experience with making money on Medium? Because I understand
like about 50 cents a month.
Oh, is that all it is? Oh, wow. Okay. Well, that answers that.
Well, it depends on your audience. You have to have an audience, and you have to promote your content there. So if you sign up for their paid content provider, Connie Green makes money on it. I don't know how much, but so it all is based on claps and comments and shares and readers. So it doesn't hurt to sign up. You have to pay $5 a month to be in that bucket, that pool, because that's what it is. It's pooled money from the subscriptions. So I pay my $5 a month because I read a lot of stuff there. And so, I know I'm supporting content creators by doing that. And I get my 50 cents, depending, or sometimes it's 29 cents.
Wow. Don't spend it all in one place.
I know. Yeah. That's not really why I'm doing it, but I was curious to see. But there are people who get, 10,000 claps on an article, or more. So, they're probably making money. They're making money on it. So it depends on what you're writing, your content. And if you're promoting your content, you got to share it out everywhere, of course, like everything else. Yeah.
And that's of course going to be a long play.
Yeah, that's a very long play. That's a very long play. So, yeah. Okay, so if you would like to make sure that you get the replay and the amazing chat content, make sure that your email is in the chat. If you want me to also share what you do and where to find you, your website, put that in the chat. And I'll send that out to everybody who's here. I'll probably post it on my website, my blog, and so that it'll because I share the crap out of my content. So it'll get some exposure for you and everybody else. So, okay. I'm going to unmute everybody. I think. Unmute all. Any final thoughts, ideas, feedback, shares?
Thank you. It's been super.
It has.
I have a lot of notes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm so
Thanks,
grateful
everybody.
for your presence here today and sharing your expertise as well.
Stay safe, everybody.
You too.
Okay,
It's great to know others are feeling the same thing. Like, boy, we got to shift. We got to make it happen. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, let's keep talking. Let's keep talking. You all know where to find me, DeniseWakeman.com, Denise Wakeman on every single social network. Just reach out if you have any questions or comments. And just one word for Ellen. If you're interested in learning about Fiverr, she has taught a course on it previously. So if you are looking for some help with that, contact Ellen.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm thinking about putting together a small course. If you're interested, just contact me on Facebook or email me. I put my email address in the chat.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe,
Thank
wash your
you.
hands,
Thank
and stay in
Good to meet
contact with the
you.
people you love.
Thanks, Denise.
Good to see you all.
Thank you, Denise. Thanks, Ellen.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye now.
Bye.